All right, if you're planning any travel in the next few years, you're going to want to listen up. There's a huge shift happening in the world of tourism, and it could mean that by 2026, your dream destination might actually be off limits. Let's get into why.
No, seriously, just think about that for a second. You've been saving your money, you've got the time off work, you're all packed and ready to go, and then you find out the one place you've been dreaming about has basically closed its doors. I know it sounds like some kind of crazy headline, but for a growing number of places, this is fast becoming the new reality.
So, what is going on here? Well, all over the world, we're talking beautiful cobblestone cities, quiet tropical islands, you name it, places that used to welcome tourists with open arms are now, well, they're putting up walls. And you should know, this isn't just a few random spots. It's a full-on movement that's gaining steam.
And it's so important to understand that this isn't happening in a vacuum. These new rules, these outright bans, they are a direct and honestly a pretty desperate reaction to a massive problem that's been bubbling under the surface for years. And now, it's finally boiling over.
So, what is this problem? What could possibly be so bad that a city or a country would turn away the very industry that props up its economy? Well, it all comes down to one thing: the incredibly high and often hidden price of being popular. And this problem has a name: over-tourism.
Let's be really clear here. This is so much more than a place just feeling a bit crowded on a holiday weekend. Over-tourism is what happens when a destination hits its absolute breaking point. It's when the sheer number of people starts to physically damage the environment and completely tank the quality of life for locals. Basically, it's destroying the very soul of the place people wanted to see.
And it really is like a domino effect. First, you get the direct environmental damage. Fragile ecosystems get literally trampled. Then public services like sanitation, water, and transport just get totally overwhelmed. Housing costs go through the roof because every local apartment gets turned into a short-term rental, pushing actual residents out. And slowly but surely, that unique local culture just fades away, replaced by some generic, made-for-tourists copy.
And this, right here, is the most important part of the whole story. You see, as a tourist, you might experience a few hours of annoying crowds, but it's the residents, the local community, who have to live with the consequences 24/7. They're the ones left cleaning up the mess long after the last tour group has left for the day. Man, that quote just hits you, doesn't it? It perfectly sums up this feeling of frustration. Can you even imagine not being able to pop down to your corner store, or even just walk down your own street because it's completely gridlocked with tourists? That's the real human cost we're talking about here.
So, faced with all this anger from their own citizens and seeing the very real long-term damage, governments and local authorities are finally being forced to step in and do something. They've realized that sitting back and doing nothing just isn't an option anymore.
And these are the main tools they're pulling out of the toolbox. First up, you've got visitor caps, which put a hard limit on how many people can even enter an area each day. Then there are new tourist taxes. You've probably heard about Venice's new entry fee. That's to help pay for upkeep and, frankly, to discourage those quick, low-spending visits. And finally, you have mandatory pre-booked tickets for famous landmarks, which pretty much kills any idea of a spontaneous trip.
Okay, so what does all this social pressure, all these new rules, what does it actually mean for you, for your future vacations? Because this isn't just some trend to watch from a distance, it is going to fundamentally change how we all travel.
You know that old way of traveling? Just picking a spot on a map, showing up whenever you want, and wandering around? Yeah, that era is coming to an end, and fast. The travel landscape of 2026 and beyond is going to require a whole lot more planning and a totally new way of thinking. Here's a good way to think about it. The old tourist mindset was all about consumption. It was about ticking boxes off a list, getting that perfect photo for Instagram and then just moving on to the next thing. The new traveler mindset, the one we all need now, is about connection. It's about really experiencing a place, making real memories, and traveling with a conscience. But listen, this is not all doom and gloom. Not at all. In fact, this whole shift is kind of forcing us all to be a bit more creative and thoughtful about our trips, and that can lead to way more rewarding experiences. It's all about finding that path less traveled, both literally and figuratively.
So, what can you actually do? Well, first, do your homework before you book anything. Check for new tourist taxes, visitor caps, reservation systems. Second, travel off-season. Going during the shoulder seasons or the off-season makes a huge difference.
Third, look for alternatives. Instead of the most famous crowded city, maybe explore an amazing second-tier city nearby. And finally, when you're there, support local. Make sure your money is going into the pockets of local families and business owners, not some massive global corporation.
So I just want to leave you with this final thought. On one hand, it can feel like we're losing something, right? Like travel is just getting harder and more complicated. But maybe, just maybe, this is the big push that we all needed. A push to become better, smarter, more mindful travelers, which helps create a sustainable future